So, folks, I love bringing to you artists who are doing things that you may or may not know about them. You may be like, I recognize this person, and what are they doing? Or you may be like, I never heard of them before, and now I'm going to check them out. It's just called Extra Connections. I'm here to connect you with people, places, things, and ideas. And this person is just hilarious. We're laughing already. She's a down home girl. I love it. She's repping Brooklyn. I might know I'm from Brooklyn, so we love Brooklyn. Prospect Park, Hamilton Parkway over here, off the F train. But we're going to talk about all of that. And she actually has worked with some people that I know, like Timothy Woodward Jr., in his film Til Death Do Us Part, written by another guy I know, Jeffrey Reddick. But she's done all kinds. She's done stage, she's done screen, she's an author, she's a producer. We're going to talk to her about all kinds of stuff. Nicole Arlyn. Hello, Miss Nicole.
Hello, nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, no, you're great. You're totally great. We got to start off just for a second because we're going through a tough time with the double strike. The writers and actors, the producers. So far, I have the thing, and then the directors got their thing. But I say, just any words of you want to just say to what's going on right now, because we love this. I know you love this business. I love this business. You you do writing, you do producing. You're an actor. Any thoughts?
Oh, I have so many thoughts, and the main one is obviously it's a necessary strike for the future. And I also have a child in the business, so it's like we're striking for their future and the respect for artists. And we put our blood, sweat, and tears into everything. People don't know what goes on and the sacrifices we make. So it's a necessary strike for the futures, especially. But it's also a time of reflection and looking at the kind of work that you want to put out there. What are you doing? What are you living for? What do you have to say? So it's a good time for me in the sense that I can be writing scripts and producing the things that I want to do. It's almost like that top of the quarantine where we all reevaluated our lives and stopped and looked at everything. And it's a very authentic time as well, because I'm not relying on work or am I going to get the role? Am I going to get that? Like, it's what can I produce and what can I put out there to actually give other artists jobs and things. So
beautifully said. What is your criteria for allowing your child to be in the business? Because you know what the business is like already as an adult. You know what it's like. What are what are some of the criteria you're like, okay, I'll let him be in the business for this?
Because he wants to so badly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Keep that in check all the time. And because it's self-generated from him, there's been so many days where, because of my journey as an actress, it's really a roller coaster, and it can be hell or it can be heaven when you're working. So it's like, I did not want that for him because he has so many other talents. He's a musician and mathematician and painter. And I thought, you don't have to act. You don't have to be in this business. I want him to do things that are also empowering to him and not waiting around for people to give him a yes. So I'm always in check on that with him, like constantly. You sure you want to do this? Do you love it that much? Mom, I have to also be an actor. I have to be a filmmaker. That's what's in me. That's what I love so much. So it's important to keep that in check with the children and not to push them, to just be a support and a balance. But it's not a road that I wanted him to go down. It just really isn't. I'm more about, like, you have to practice your scales. You have to learn every instrument. You have to write your own songs. That's more of my push on him than anything in acting.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered that.
Oh, no, it was great. And I think also, but part of it is, art is great for math and science and learning and English. Art is great for that. Whether it's music.
That's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
So I think that's great too. But I was wondering, like you said, this business is not for the faint at heart.
No.
How long have you been in the actual, like, the business? How long have you been in it?
The actual business was probably since I was 19. And I did my first movie when I was living in Paris. But prior to that, actually, let me go back 1 second. In high school, I I played hooky in high school to be an extra in Abel Ferrara's movie, The King of New York.
Oh my God. Oh, how funny. Okay. Yeah.
And I am the girl with crazy 80s hair under the stairs. And I lied about that I was in school that day. I don't know even how I found out about it. I remember I had seen Abel Ferrara's movies and the whole indie New York vibe. But I literally took the train into the city and put myself on set. Like, so that probably was my first professional thing. And then when I was very young, I did a lot of modeling, but that's not really acting.
Yeah, right.
And I did, acting in school and plays and those things. But I think that King of the New York movie where Christopher Walken comes out of prison and they toast him, I'm standing like right beside Christopher Walken with, and I toasted, and that was like my first thing where it was just soaring, that bug to be an actor. Like, oh my God, I got to say something in the movie. I got to be in it. Look at the camera, look at the direct, like that was it for me.
Yeah. And I have some friends who also studied at the Sorbonne in Paris. Yeah. And so I want to know what are some of the takeaways you have from that experience? Because you also did an experimental film there, but you were at the Sorbonne. This is a major university, major place in the world. What did you take away from that?
I had mind-boggling experiences there. I think because I wanted them, and most of them were outside the school, like going to nightclubs and like meeting a boyfriend that was like some street guy. Like,
of course. Yeah, of course.
Being away from New York and being in a foreign country and being that young, you just want to soak in every single experience in this very artistic, poetical, hidden way, just to know about life. And it's very hard to do that in your hometown or when people really know you. And so it was like really, I did so much poetry and writing there, all in French, and filled notebooks with movie ideas and story ideas, and read Anais Nin and Henry Miller. It was kind of quintessential, that romantic. I think I was after that all of my life in some way, but that started that.
I had a friend who said, he had me laughing. He was like, the first year we were so poor. But he was like, I lived on cookies and wine for like the first year. Like, we had a big joke about that, kind of like it was just that the city itself was it made for that kind of romance, right? I mean, that was the whole thing, right?
I lived off of baguettes and confiture, which is the, the strawberry jam.
Yeah.
That was, how do you survive just bread and jelly?
Like, you did.
You're fine at that age. Yeah.
That's right.
You don't need anything.
Not now. Couldn't do it now, but yeah, back then.
Now I don't even know what I would be now, but
I just love that.
I do eat a lot of kids' food, so maybe it's the same.
But no, okay. So I mean, because when you decided, have you always been this kind of like a go-getter? Have you always been that type of like?
When somebody tells me no, you can't do something, I go and have to do it. Like, I've always been a go-getter, done very weird experiences in life, just lived in that visceral place more than the logical place.
Yes.
But
wait a minute. You also, I'm looking at here, you also did a beauty pageant.
I did a beauty pageant.
So I'll say, what did that teach you? Because you're beautiful, but I feel like you're not, you're a kind of woman who's
not that type.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm a hot mess all the time. That was some friends coaxed me into that because I went to that school knowing I wanted to be an actress, not knowing how to do it, and I was misplaced with 60,000 other people, and I was quite beautiful at the time, fallen apart since. But
no, you're beautiful now too, girl.
Some people put me up to it, and there was no talent category that I really fit in, because I didn't have acting or do a monologue or like a writing thing. It was all just singing and opera and dancing. So I ended up dancing in it and making a big fool out of myself. And I came in first runner-up.
Wow. Okay.
It was all tall blondes. And I was the only brown-haired Jewish girl from New York. So they were never going to give me the title. Like,
They weren't. They weren't
going to give it to me. No. But I was funny. I was funny.
That helps. Seriously, that helps.
Yeah.
But did that experience teach you anything also? I mean, did it teach you anything about the human condition? Yes.
Yes. It taught me that you don't have to do things right, because I had trained for that for so long, and then some kind of stage fright adrenaline kicked in that night, and all cares went to the wind, and I ended up just doing dancing from whatever was inside of me. And that's literally what happened. And it was, again, a big mess, but with everything, I think mistakes are like the greatest things when you don't do it right, because then you're out of the box, and then you're in this other realm, and then you're unique.
Yeah.
In some way.
I agree.
And life is not perfect, and there's nothing. I think that's what that taught me.
So so you've done stage and you've done film. You've done both, which are both very different. Doing the training you've done in certain schools and going to schools for acting and stuff, that's helped you especially with the stage, hasn't it? It's helped you with the stage, because stage is very different than film in terms of stamina and repetitiveness and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, it's really different.
It's really different.
Yes. And why do you like it so much? I mean, what's the whole thing about stage?
Well, the stage, I think, again, it's just you're in this realm where you can make so many mistakes and you can't do it again. And you just have to go with what's in the moment, because in film you could cut, even like now the self-tapes are very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
For me, because I love that about acting. I love the unknown mistake zone. That's the realm of the unknown. And so in the theater, if you mess up, you're just there, and everybody's there with you.
Yeah.
So and it's very big, and it's tremendous energy. It's more like being an athlete.
Yes, although definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. But I had a couple of friends, we were doing filming some TV stuff, and we had to tell them not to talk so loud. I mean, because they came from theater, where you're always projecting. Like, you're always like, and yes, but it works on stage. But like, when you're in a small studio, you don't have to go, so Nicole, when I'm like, no, we can just kind of bring it down a bit. We laugh.
And you can't use your throat muscles to like, hey, the minute you do that, you can't do the show the next night.
Yes.
So the voice has to come like from the feet or
the core. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm also a singer, so I know all that voice stuff. But I just know that when you do TV or film, it's it's smaller in terms of that kind of using your vocal cords. But I had a couple friends there from the theater, and they were just like, I'm just projecting to the back of the room, and I got to make sure that the person hears you. Like, but we all can hear you. It's okay. We can hear you here. So we had a good laugh for that. But I love stage. I love that it's kind of participatory with the audience. Like, they're there with you by trying to buy what you're selling. Like, they're invited to be with you. You're on stage, they're in the audience, and your job is to say, okay, now you're here with me for an hour and a half or 2 hours, however long it is, and please join us, right? That's what it is, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
My film is so whispery and intimate.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, and so when you do films like Til Death Do Us films like that, and or Wolf Mountain, things like that. I know David Lipper is my other buddy, who's been on the show many times. Known him for years. I know all your people. I know all your people. I love
my peeps. I know.
I love them. I love all
LA peeps crew.
Oh yeah, LA peeps. Yeah, I love them. So when you're on film, what did you like? Because film is a different type of, could be many takes, lots of hurry up and waiting, kind of just all kind of stuff. How do you handle film?
I love film more. I love film. I love the intimacy of the camera. I love the connection with the other actor in that intimate environment. I love telling the story. I love being part of it. I love the family feeling on sets that I've always had. I want to spend my life making films. I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah. When you get a character, who do they become for you? Are they an alter ego, a twin, a sister, a cousin, or just a character? Like, I mean, when you inhabit a character, what role does it take for you?
A branch on the tree of myself or something. A branch, like an arm or something that can be so sacredly expressed that you can't express in your life. Like you can do things through a character and say things through a character and that you can't do in your life. Like,
Right.
I think that's what the characters are for me, and all kinds of people, and everybody has a root or a reason why they're like that. And I find looking for the bottom of things, why they're like that and why they're there and what they're supporting and what they're doing there and what they have to say. I think those are the most interesting things for me.
I like that. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I played a few characters here and there, and I respect you guys who have I say I'm not an actor. I've just acted in a few things. But I respect the craft of acting because it is a craft. I mean, it really, if people think it isn't, but it really is.
Really, yeah. Yeah.
It really is. But I know for a few times for me, there was one character I played, I had a hard time shaking off a little bit. And I know.
I know.
Has it happened to you? Has it happened to you?
It happened to me when I did a character of I did a play about Anna Magnani, who's a great Italian actress, and it was a one-woman show, and I put so much into it. I really could not shake that for a long time, and emotionally affected me almost horrifically because I had gone to emotional places that were opening things up in me and affecting me in my life. I couldn't. That was really the only time I couldn't separate it. And I actually ended up getting married and having a child from doing that play.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the only time it really affected my life.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, playing in a horror film like Wolf Mountain, it's more just it's fake, it's phony, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother you, right? It doesn't really bother you, right? That's funny. So the two of the roles I just want to kind of talk about briefly, and you can tell me a little about them. Till Death Do Us Part. Natalie Burn, who I know also, and I know Timothy Woodward Jr. director, Jason Patricv, whatever. What is your role in that, and how did that go?
I play Jason Patric's wife.
Okay.
That's my role in it. No, I'm kidding. I play his wife, which was so exciting for me because I was always a fan of Jason Patricv.
Yeah, you've been up for a long time. Yeah.
Or, you grow up and these are like iconic. I told him I had a poster of him in my room, like Lost Boys.
Lost Boys, yes.
So playing his wife was just really like me anchoring into him and him me, because we play a very loving couple who were secret killers, and so we had a very crazy life, and we're kind of done with that life now, and we're just living in the fruit of that life. So it was amazing to be able to listen to Jason Patricv, because he's huge monologues, and just be and loving him and remembering the life that we had together when we were younger. So it's an amazing role for me. I loved that whole experience, and that too was full of so many laughs. That Timothy, who it was just, we filmed on a boat, so we have so many funny stories because it was so rocky and impossible to get shots. And the sound guy was thrown over the side because he was seasick. It was just so funny. And there were times that I was in these little heels and I couldn't, all I wanted to do is get through the scene without, flipping over. Yeah. So I was like holding on to Jason Patric's hip and just get me through the scene, and those type of acting moments.
I love it. Now, switching gears, you play a Connecticut housewife caught up in your husband's drama in Wolf Mountain. Now, there's a person in there, and you play the deceased mother seen in a flashback.
Yeah,
So tell me about that role.
Well, that role is me with my husband on top of a mountain, and a crazy creature comes to get us. So that was a blast. And also that filming behind the scenes was also extraordinary because it was pitch black in the mountains when we had to drive up to the top of a cliff on a mountain out in Santa Clarita. And we had to take a Jeep up there, and I got thrown into it with the sun rising up at like 6 a.m. and I had to scream. I love the experiences around. I'm such a behind the scenes person because it's not just what's on the camera. It's like what happened on the outskirts of the frame that is so also interesting. So that was so much fun.
Now, because real. Real. So people know I'm a multi-hyphenate myself, and so I love talking to other multi-hyphenates. And she is a fantasy author, having written 26 novels in the Sugar Spear Chronicles. Talk about that. How did you get into? I usually love to write. How did you get into that?
I had these books inside of me, and I had to get them out. And at that time, I actually left acting for about a year, and I lived in England, and I stowed myself away in a flat in England, an apartment, to get these books out because I was trying to get them out in New York City, and I was doing plays at the time and working in the theater, and they were just burning in me because I would wake up with the scenes in my head. They were just there like a movie, and I just kept following them, and they ended up being 26 novels, handwritten, that came out of me in an isolated, and I wrote about 18 hours a day with a 2-hour walk in between, and I had a manuscript that was just probably about here, like it was
Now, I mean, because you're a producer too, Bird and Wild Productions, could you see you producing these fantasy novels or having someone?
I'm producing them because they're very dark fantasy novels, and they were not for children. Okay. And because I'm working so much with my son on so many different projects, we've been going through the books to make them for like lower ages.
Okay.
And so they were just raw and dark and insane, like when I wrote them. And they went through a lot of different Hollywood hands, and a lot of the feedback was, these are so exceptionally dark. They didn't know, but also, the programming was a little bit different at the time. But now, anyway, we're resurrecting them and making them into 3 movie scripts.
Oh, good. So, that's very exciting. No, because I was thinking that's good because fantasy's in right now. People are like loving fantasy. I mean,
I love it.
Stories. So it tells the story of a little girl who falls through a willow tree while searching for an imaginary king to bring home her father. I love that. It's a nice premise, and I can see it being on. There's so many streaming services and networks out there. I can see it.
Yeah, it's a massive amount of content. It was overwhelming. I couldn't stop writing. So we're just trying to, go through things right now with it.
I love that. I love that. Some people say that you bring your hometown with you wherever you go.
Oh my gosh.
And so what do you bring of Brooklyn with you wherever you go?
I bring truth and authenticity. And that is the one thing that I struggle sometimes with in LA, because I'm such a New Yorker that everything is like no BS. Can I say that?
Yeah.
No, just get to the point, get it done, tell it like it is. When something's good, you say it. When something's bad, you say it. There's just no stuff on it. And I think that sometimes New Yorkers have a hard time in LA because it's kind of like, just chill out, man, just hang out. I'll see you next week. When?
Yeah, when?
What time? When? Do you like it? It's okay, we'll work. Yes or no. I'd rather somebody tell me they hate something. Like, I just want the truth about everything all the time. And I just want to tell it like it is. And I just want things done like now.
Yes.
So
I know. That's it.
And at the end of the day, honestly, the characters that I love playing the most are New Yorkers. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I love playing things that are actually close to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just like yell at somebody?
And you paid for it.
You pay-
It's okay. I know my thing is, yeah, I'm no filter. I come from no filter people. You just say
Right.
it like it is, and that's you tell the truth and shame the devil. I always say that's what I always tell people, and that's what we do
Yeah.
in New York. That's what you just tell her, just and you move on. Like you just say it and you just move on.
I know. I just got back from New York and I just miss that so much. Like I just miss the city and I want my son to have all the vibes of the city. Like it's so cool. There's
Yeah.
no crap. Like it's just,
It's my magic place. It's my. I always say I've been saying for years. It's my so I miss it too. I'm trying to get back there myself, so my family. But I'm like, it's my magic place. I mean, I love my Los Angeles. I have my house. I love being here. But there's no place like New York. There's no place.
no place like New York.
There's no place like
And
New
no
York.
matter how much you travel and how many places you live, there is a hunger for that
Yes.
city. You can't leave it like inside of you.
I agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Nicole, you are a joy and you are a light. Thanks for being on. Come back anytime. Any projects, anytime. You're welcome back anytime.
I would love to. You're amazing. I'm thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm Humpty Dumpty because my face is twisted.
No, you look
And I'm glad that I can let people into my crazy creative.
Yes. You're busy being creative. You're busy being creative, girl. You don't worry about.
Yeah.
If they want to follow you online, where should they go?
NicoleArlyn.com, Instagram. Nicole Arlyn. Yeah, you can find me on there. And then we're going to be putting out stuff on Bird in the Wild Productions and the movies that we're making, and whoever wants to be a part of that, and meeting new filmmakers and actors, and all kinds of good projects are coming forth.
Very good. Very good. So I'll put it in the description below, of course. So follow her at NicoleArlyn.com. I'll have the spelling and everything. So you guys just go on there and follow her projects, see what she's doing, see what's going on. And the films that she's in, Til Death Do Us Part and Wolf Mountain, both my friends, Timothy Woodward Jr. and David Lipper. I love you guys both. And so check those out where you can check those out. And I'm James Lott Jr. and Extra Connections is on Facebook, Extra Connections. I'm at James Lott Jr. everywhere else. Follow us everywhere, and we will talk to you next time.
Yes, James, you rock it. Thank you so much. I had a